Testing. Okay, there we go. My mic was disabled. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? I don't know how that got disabled, but it looks like it's picking me up at least. Let's see. Yeah, alright, great. Yeah, somehow my, I don't know, I didn't change any settings, but Windows ran an update, so maybe it messed with the audio settings because my microphone was not running. And my dad's down here now to join me. Off camera slightly.
Yeah, a little bit.
But he'll move in a second.
Let me get some water.
Thank you for pointing that out. I would have just kept going and not known. Haven't had to change it in so long. Alright, so since I was talking and no one can hear it, yeah, I know. I've been working on this armored horse. I'm just doing some cleanup on it right now. Getting all of the lines clean and well defined, covering any spots I missed. Before I move on to shading it.
No, when did you release?
Last stream? I finished the streams on the last stream, I think.
You're ready for realistic water.
Yeah. We can probably pour those today if you feel like it.
Yeah, we'll do that in a little while.
So we have these river tiles that we've been painting. And we have this realistic water, which takes a while to cure, but when it does, it gives you a nice thin gloss over the water part and gives it, you know, that wet look that water tends to have, unless it's ice, and even then sometimes.
So I guess I'm going to touch up.
Oh wow, you do cosplay props? That's really cool though. I've always wanted to do cosplay. You're working on your bed there?
Yeah, I want to do touch up on the little brass embellishments I did on the bed feet. And the horrible task of continuing to work on these stripes. So I'll be getting out the flat brown.
Once I get to shading, I'm hoping to get it to look more, it'll look more in the lines of this scorpion, which I did previously. Once I get all the shading work in, it gets a lot more. Yeah, I know, I've always wanted, my problem is I'm not that great at sewing. You know, I'm able to, but the sewing part's always difficult for me. Been difficult for me. It's like just thinking about all the joining of planes together. For some reason is really difficult. But it is something I'd like to try and overcome. Thank you. What sort of things do you cosplay? Characters and whatnot? Do you tend to cosplay? I'm using a little silver here to touch up the head armor right now. And I put a little more than I wanted in the container, but that's it.
Who are they cosplaying?
Hi, Esti. They haven't said yet, but I'm guessing from the name you do anime cosplay. Oh, great. Thank you for popping on while you're working. We always appreciate it a lot. Hopefully I'll get to finishing this little horse today. I'm shouldn't take too long to get it all cleaned up. And I'll be able to really tone down this silver too. It's a very, very, very bright, shiny silver. Which is nice, but it also probably wouldn't look that way after it's been oiled and protected. Oh wow, you do anime, but you do competitions? That's really cool. Yeah, I always love going to conventions just to see all the people walking around in all the cosplay. It's always really cool. I think for me, part of it is just getting the courage to go out and do. Oh, you're doing a cosplay for your D&D character? That's really cool. What are they? Like class, race? So the studs on this saddle, I am going to be putting a little extra silver paint on, and I'm gonna kind of go back over it with the leather color, because with a raised bump this small, it's extremely difficult to just get a single little dot. I have the silver out, so I want to make sure I'm not missing anywhere that I might need a little extra silver. Yeah, we actually use the things we Act of the Fiend, Warlock, High Elf. Awesome. We use 2 brands of paint generally. A lot of them, we have these, it's Tamiya, which is a Japanese brand that's actually made mostly for like airplanes and ships and model ships and war, you know, like World War II models basically. But they have a lot of different colors that are really good for. We do a lot of set design as well. We make tile sets for our D&D show by printing them here and painting them here. So they're really actually quite good for a lot of the environmental stuff, and for some of the more fun D&D colors, like a lot of the metallics and things like that, it's Vallejo, Vallejo, Vallejo. And Game Color is another name for it. It's the same company. But those are the 2 paints we primarily use. They're both water-soluble acrylics, so they're pretty easy to work with and dry fairly quickly. And they go on pretty easily, so they're good sort of all-around paint. Maybe.
I like that they usually flow pretty well, and they don't leave brush marks.
Yeah, if you lean over for a second, we have 2 3D printers. Just lean towards me. There you go. We have 2 3D printers running in back there. Some of them we don't print yet. We don't have a resin printer yet, so doing things like this horse is a little hard. But we have been printing a very large dungeon set right now. This piece just came off. It's a stone wall. And we glue them all together. Let me grab a piece.
While she's getting that, Yeah, we put them together and make large rooms.
Yeah, so we'll glue together pieces like this. They're on little floating stands, and we put magnets in them so they hold together. This is from a building set, and you can just reconfigure them. Yeah, we use these in our D&D stream that we do on Sunday, and right now we have this town set, which is sort of this plaster building. We have like a red dungeon set, a sewer set.
Yeah, the sewers are pretty nice. Let's show those. Nikki did a nice job of making them look gross, sewery.
I'll grab just a couple random pieces. So this piece has separate walls, but it clicks together pretty well. Just as a quick example. So these all magnetize together pretty well, and we did epoxy for a little wet stream in the troughs of the sewer, and you can sort of imagine it built out more. I don't have a lot of room here, but yeah. They're, when you print them yourself and paint them yourself, they're pretty economical. We're sort of we're working on thinking about making a Etsy store where we can sell some of these pieces. But we have a few other projects we're working on first. We're doing a Halloween special set using the Ravenloft setting. Loosely. Very loosely using the Ravenloft setting. So that has to happen first before I can really focus on an Etsy store, but it should be pretty cool when it's done.
And that's going to be streamed on
Halloween weekend. We're planning to have it be a two-parter, Saturday and Sunday of the Halloween. But we'll see how it goes. We still have a little bit to do before we get there, so yeah. We also painted all of our characters' figures, which are out elsewhere right now. Although those we purchased from Hero Forge because we really want to get a resin printer to get detailed figures, but it has a few hurdles with it. It's primarily it's really, really, really toxic, so you need very good ventilation,
which we really don't have.
So we'd have to set it up in set up a special place in a garage, basically. With some fans and things like that. Yeah. So
if we had enough fans watching our show
to fund it. Yeah, right.
They could be fans.
But yeah, so those are sort of our plans right now. We're getting to near a critical mass, I think, on starting to do some of that dungeon set. At least the basic walls.
Oh yeah, to start painting?
Yeah, there's also a wash station involved because even when it's done printing, it's still toxic. So you need to, wear plastic gloves or rubber gloves and basically neutralize the resin in order to remove the toxicity. But all the figures, like this scorpion, there's like this 3D printed figure here. All these like high detail figures are resin based. So it's like one of those like long-term wish lists, so we can just print out monsters as needed and things like that. I need the leather color. Here it is. Dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't knock over water this time. I only need a single drop. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Great.
Hmm. Well, it's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better.
What is? The bed?
No, this one post.
Oh, yeah, you have 4 posts, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 more to do.
Mm-hmm. This tiny little brush is great for fine detail, but the paint doesn't come off of it that well.
It holds the paint.
Yeah. No, I have to go back and do some retouching of the touching in a few spots, but
There's a lot of back and forth with model painting sometimes, where you fix something, but it messes something else up, and you go back and fix it. And
so that facing the camera is the one that I just touched up compared to some of the others that are
less touched
less
up.
touched up. Yeah. The real test is if I look at it, can I tell which one was touched up compared to the others? The answer to that at the moment is yes. Because this other one's really pretty messy.
And right now, I am using this leather color to just clean up around the rivets on the saddle. Because they're so small, it's actually a little easier to do almost a subtractive method by putting too much silver on and pulling it away a little bit at a time. And since I have the leather out, I'm gonna make sure I'm not missing anywhere. I really could use it, like here, for example. But yeah. So we've been slowly working away and getting paint on my fingers so that I can have to redo things later. It's always fun. But we've been building up a nice sort of collection of environmental things. I did a huge pile of crates and barrels and chests, things like that. And even just little things like 3D printing little bookshelves like that. And just giving them a really simple paint job to fill in a set can be quite nice. I think I'm gonna need to do the brass next. I always end up when I'm doing a figure like this to have like a bunch of little cups with a single drop of paint in them. Let's see, here's my brass. Perfect. So I have brass on all the fittings and highlighting the silver armor parts, but I think it needs a little more highlighting up there. And one of my stirrups had a small spot that needed some touch up. But the big part will be the armor here. My favorite thing we've made so far? What would you say? Maybe one of the houses?
I think those houses are really nice.
The houses are... We printed them... Well, I could go grab them. They're right over there.
Yeah, why don't you go show them?
The Tudor houses. They took quite a while. Two of them. So, we did these little houses you can just plop down on a set. We did 3 of them, but, you know, this is one that Dad did here. This black and plaster look. They took quite a while to paint just because of all of the little timbers.
And the lattice on the window.
And the lattice on the windows. Here's the one I did. One of them. But I think they're really nice and they're really easy to use because you just sort of drop them in to wherever you need a house and you don't have to build up anything. But these take about, what would you say, 20 hours to paint each?
No, I think they took 4 streams, as I recall.
So more like 10 hours, probably, with all the
about 12 or so, yeah.
Printing, priming, and things like that. Thank you. Yeah, they took a long time, but I think they were worth it. They're really nice to have. Probably our favorite so far, unless you have a favorite.
Well, our little minifigs, of course.
Yeah.
Those came out really well. Sorry, I'm touching up these stripes on this four-poster bed, and
it takes a lot of concentration.
It's a tiny little brush that isn't working all that terribly.
We also have cute little doodads like this floating crystal here. That didn't take too long to paint, but
campfires.
It's kind of nice, and we have a campfire piece. And these were ones we printed. So, you know, little fun bits to throw down.
Probably the only thing we haven't really done and can't really do are trees.
Trees are very difficult, but because either they're really expensive to print or they look awful. But we found a good alternative, which was to go buy model train decoration trees. And we printed out bases for them and just glued them on. But I think this is an F-scale model train base. Model train tree. Really pretty cheap, like $1 or $2. They work pretty well, unless you drop them. Yeah. We do have one character figure here. This is a drow character from a previous campaign. I just have sitting around here. Cleric. But she's a little hard to see because the colors are dark with the purple and everything. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus in. And maybe? But yeah. So there is one figure, but the others are off elsewhere right now.
No, that's 2.
You got 2 posts down?
Yeah, those 2. And they need to be, you know, touched up in the other direction, of course.
Once you touch up one way, you gotta touch up the other. That's how it generally goes, at least.
Yep. Kind of go back and forth until the last little spots are extinguished.
Yeah, I feel like with cosplay, I could do the props fairly well, but the actual costume part would be the part I would have trouble with.
Yeah.
The fabric sections.
Had a lot of practice with props doing Odyssey of the Mind.
Yeah.
Learned how to do
Which is, I think, yeah, not...
painted cardboard really well.
Yeah.
Well, I managed to get some paint on a finger and touch. Well, at least it's just on the surface, so that's easy to touch on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's always a danger if you're handling your figure while it's still a little wet, is you get a spot that then spreads. So what I'm doing right now is a fairly small thing, but hopefully it will pay off in the long run, where I am putting the brass along the edges of this horse's armor in order to create a slightly more cohesive look to the whole thing. And then I think, barring any other discoveries, I might get to the shading, which is fun, but also can be quite difficult to do. You can maybe hear our cat yelling at us. Cat.
What is the issue? He's been like that all day.
This is our loud cat. Go on. Alright. And then I think I just need to clean up that spot I messed up with paint on my finger. And I swear there was a piece of leather that needed a spot cleaned. The only downside with this horse is it needs a very flat surface to stand up. Be a little careful, it likes to flop over. Let's see. You know, it's not 100% perfect in every area, but it also won't show. So I'm just gonna clean up one or two more spots, and then I think I'll move on to the shading part.
You're almost done.
I think so. Well, and after I do all of it and finish the shading, I'm gonna do the hooves, because I handle the hooves a lot, and it can wear the paint down if you hold it like constantly while it's drying and everything. So to save myself a headache of messy fingers, I have been leaving the hooves just base primer. Exactly, it's very exciting. So the hooves will be the very last thing I do, but I think I'll just do cleanup on the fur, and then I'll start my my big shading process. I've been using this is buff for the horse's fur color. It's a nice sort of beige, which I'll probably put an umber wash over, and that's just like a wash is a really super thin paint that's kind of translucent and wet, and it will help sort of shade and fill in the details. Yeah, it looks a little flat right now because it hasn't gotten the final coating on it yet, but once I get that on, it should stand out pretty nice. So, is there any other spot that I missed with the fur that matters, at least? It's like the hooves are last, so. Alright. I think I'm good. So, I'm gonna give it half a second to dry while I get things ready. And I don't think I'll use this brush, because this is a little... I have one like this that's slightly larger. Yeah, I'll be using black wash on the armor and maybe some of the cloth, and then umber wash on the leather and the horse itself is my plan. We have a couple other washes, some that are kind of fun. We have a green wash and a blue wash. We actually did those sewer tiles by painting them gray and putting the green wash over them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that worked really well.
For sort of the algae effect. And all the muck is sort of a mixture of umber wash, black dry brushing, and I think some black wash as well. So I think I'll probably actually start with the black. Or should I do the... no, I'll start with the black wash, which is here. Do you use the black wash and shading on your cosplays? This bottle always gets...
Always.
I can't wait till we're done with this, because this bottle always sprays wash when it's opened. Something about the design of it.
I think you get like 100%. So every time you open it.
Yeah. And and it gets on your fingers. It's really annoying. So I want to dry my hands off. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's one of the best parts of wash, is it makes everything suddenly instantly weathered and like toned down and everything. It's kind of fun and gratifying to see something that's kind of flat turn really three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. You know, when the very first pieces we did it was like, oh, well, they look okay. I think they were the red walls. Right?
Yeah, we were doing the red dungeon walls.
And they were red. You know.
We were using the scarlet red. It was sort sort of a blood red color, and then once you threw the wash on them,
The black wash, all of a sudden it was
filled in all the cracks.
Wow. Totally different look.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. To do this horse, I'm gonna move my little cups so I don't hit them, because I'm likely to. I'm using a slightly larger brush here. I don't know how this makes so much of a mess. Didn't really get any in there. This brush isn't really holding them as much as I want. So I'll switch to this one. It's a little more absorbent. It's an older brush. A little less on the detail, but that shouldn't be a problem for this. And when you're using a wash on a figure, you have to really take gravity into account sometimes. So I did the front little nose plate there, and it's a lot darker and less shiny mostly than the one right on its head. And that'll take a little while to dry, but let's move that. So what I'm going for is sort of like with prop making, I think. I like to sort of think through how is this getting used, where might oil and dirt collect on it, and like what parts are gonna get hit the most and weathered the most, and give those a little extra detail. And some things like a higher point will have more shine to it. And some of the little edges are going to have darker spots in them. Let's see if I can get it. There it goes. So the top is got a wash layer on it, and the back doesn't yet. So it really tones it down. And I did the exact same thing with model making. Like on the house, I'll go like, okay, where is there gonna be more wear and tear compared to other parts of it? And try and focus a little more on those. Or even like, would this person keep their house up, or would they have like a messed up roof, you know? So it's fun to make little stories as you're doing the weathering and darkening parts of it. And this model's really nice. It actually has little scratches in the armor that, as the wash settles into it, will become more visible. Let's see if I can get focus. Maybe not. Oh, let me use the... I think it's trying to focus on Dad back there. As you can see, there's like little scratches on it, things like that. Shouldn't jiggle it too much because the wash will run with the with gravity, but just start really working this in.
Okay, well, got the dark brown touched up. Now I need to clean this up. And get the sandy color again.
Thank you. Alright.
Sorry, I can't read the screen without my glasses, and I can't paint with them, so.
It's a back and forth for you with the reading. So,
I forgot to do this.
just a little bit more on the armor piece here. There's these little side parts. That look like they would collect a lot of oil from getting moved around and protected. So I'll go over those. Let's see. Gonna set it down so that gravity will stay stable. And just put a couple extra pits and spots in it. And the nice thing with wash on model is, because it takes a second to dry and it's so wet, if you accidentally get a little too much in one area, usually your brush can just pull it right back out if you dry it a little. Okay, so I think the armor has, at least for a good first coat, I might come back and do a little extra on it. And sometimes it tries to focus on. Yeah, there it is. That will take a second to dry. Come on. I wish I had more control over the auto
Maybe autofocus.
focus. So I've just done the armor, and that's it. Hopefully the rest of the horse will start to come along. And I'll take some pictures at the end and we'll post them up on our Instagram. Some better pictures. Now, before I handle the horse too much, I want to let that dry so that it doesn't run. So, how's your bed doing?
Okay.
Did you get all the pillars?
I got, yeah, now I need to go back and
Clean them up?
clean them up in the other direction.
I see that. Are you gonna do like brass nails on this?
Yeah,
Headboard?
the headboard, the band is going to be the lighter color, which is why I haven't painted it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then brass nails.
And these are the feet?
Mm-hmm. And then this is the top.
There's gonna be a lot of gluing.
Yeah. The pieces fit together. I tested them, so that's good.
Okay, so it won't be, you don't have to hold anything.
No.
I think it's dry enough. I'm actually gonna put it like this and work on the cloth now. The blue cloth that goes around under the saddle. At least on one side. I love how much it works. As long as you plan ahead with your placement, it really works with you in terms of going into the little cracks and folds that are on the model you're working with. And I did get a small spot, but luckily, because it's a wash, I can pretty much instantly get rid of it by wiping it off. I do not have to clean that up. And there's a little panel here. It's just gonna get a little bit of wash on it as well. Alright, so I'm gonna leave that on its side. I do this a lot when I'm washing the even large pieces like the houses, because if you turn it too quickly, as I'm sure you know from cosplaying, if you turn wash too quickly, it can just run right off of where you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to do it all over again. Close up this brush for now, because this one, while it's great for detail work, is not absorbent enough to do washes. It's something I learned.
Is that Sophia? Yeah.
Yeah, our dog yelling up there.
I'm squeaking about something.
I'm sure it's a delivery or, some squirrel. Yeah, sometimes I have to remember that you have to have patience for some aspects of model painting. Most aspects of model painting, honestly. Because I want to just quickly do all of it. But seems dry enough. And there's one little spot that ran, so what I'm gonna do, just take some paper towel, pull that up.
Okay, so we've gone over this with one color, and now we're going to go back with the other color, and do that a couple times until it doesn't look so bad.
So, on wash side, there it is, and wash side. Still kind of shiny because it's still tacky, but not totally wet. And I'll probably do another coat of black wash on most of this. Once this gets dry enough to really get those visual distinctions in. And I'm basically just loading up my brush with wash and almost dripping it in and then moving it into place. And pushing it around a little. Yeah, and the more I get worked on, the more definition will stand out, especially once it's dry. Luckily, this dries quicker when it's a small amount. When you're doing like a roof on a building, it can take like half an hour.
Then it can take a long time before you can even move it.
Yeah. Let's see. I will need a cup for my umber wash eventually, but for now, it looks like it's coming along alright. Trying not to mess with it, because I have the wash pretty much where I want it. I feel like I should have another project ready while that's drying. You can always go look in our box of doodads.
Mm-hmm. It's a box of pieces that have been primed and just sort of sitting there. As this bed was.
Well, we have 3 more horses. Not sure I'm ready to start a new one, but I have a little bookshelf here that's just been primed and ready. These are pretty straightforward and easy, so maybe I'll just get that painted.
The bookshelf or the horses?
The bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only gonna do one horse at a time, I think. Let's see, this bookshelf was done in flat earth, I think. Maybe I'll do red-brown on this bookshelf. Just because I don't want to mess up the nice shading happening in that cloth by moving it around too early. Set it up there. And this is a real quick and easy sort of figure to paint. It's gonna be a nice, simple bookshelf. Just a set decoration.
We just got paint there and I have no idea how.
Fingers?
Mm. Yeah, that's how.
Now, if we wanted to be really ambitious, you know what we can do with these shelves?
Mm-hmm.
We could take we can take an X-Acto knife, basically, cut out little pieces of paper, roll them up and glue them together to make scrolls,
Mm.
and then glue them into the bookshelves.
Let's not do that.
Try with some tweezers. I don't know, it'd be pretty neat.
I know if we were making like display models, yeah. Actually, that probably wouldn't be too hard to do.
No, you might need some tweezers.
Mm-hmm.
but it shouldn't actually be that difficult. Unless you wanted to write tiny little arcane runes on each scroll.
No. I did that once on a little book. But that was a character.
We have a pretty good scroll shelf back there, actually, that hasn't been painted. So if you ever felt ambitious, we could definitely do that. And we have some parchmenty looking paper too we could use. I only need one sheet.
Probably wouldn't need too much. Tiny little bit.
So I'm gonna set that over to the side and check my horse. Okay, let's see. Alright, that looks like it's not gonna run too badly. So, turn them over. And let's get the other side. That is the wrong brush. One thing I find helps if you're planning on washing an entire area is to get the whole thing at least a little bit, because once everything is wet with wash, more wash will go on much more easily. So just getting kind of a first coat going. Let's see. And one thing to be careful of on a model is sometimes the wash will want to create bubbles. Pretty easy to deal with, you just pop them, but you want to notice them because if they dry while bubbles, it'll create an awkward little ring on the figure where the pigment has settled on the edges of the bubble. Okay, that's good. Back off to the side with you. Let's see. How is your bed coming?
Not too bad.
Almost cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the top.
Yeah, I have to decide what color to paint those little insects.
I think alternating red and blue.
Red and blue would work.
Or drop it. I'm very gravity prone today. You could do like purple and red. The little insets on this top part of the bed.
Yeah, I'm not sure purple and red would contrast. Well, maybe.
You want contrast?
No, I mean you could tell them apart.
Oh, yeah. Go Christmas and green and red.
No, that's too Christmassy.
You should do turquoise and purple.
Okay,
These two.
that would look okay.
This is the paint drying portion of the show. I can always take a look at. This is a model we purchased, but well, oxes. Since my druid can turn into an ox, maybe I'll take a look at these. They're pretty sizable. What color?
Oh, they're already primed?
Yeah, these are pre-primed. I'm just waiting for the horse to dry. Yeah, this is like a... Well, let's see. Probably next to a person. Maybe like a 5 or 6 foot tall ox. Pretty good. But in our D&D stream, I talk about marsh ox a lot. So maybe that's what
Maybe
these
that's
are.
what those will be.
Because my character's from sort of a swampy area. And they had marsh ox. What color do you think a marsh ox is?
Dark reddish brown.
Sort of a red-brown, but dark.
Mm-hmm.
And with a darker fur on the back.
Yeah, kind of a highlight, right?
Okay, that's dry enough to handle. But the horse is not. Sometimes with those cracks, they take quite a while to dry, is the downside. Oh, hi Char, no worries. I hope you had a good nap. So, I'm gonna fill in these shelves while the horse is drying. And maybe I'll switch to the umber wash and do some of the fur on it. It's horse hair on the tail. Yeah, we have a pile of bookshelves, and I figured while I'm waiting for the wash to dry on the horsehair, just killing some time and doing a simple project that we can always stick somewhere. Although I was talking about making gluing together little scrolls to put on a shelf, glue into a shelf. Little teeny tiny scrolls. The horse should be ready for the next thing soon here. Do like 1 or 2 more shelves and then I'll get back to the main event. I know. I spilled water on my towel and I had to replace it, unfortunately. Yeah, I barely ever go on Discord, but I will pop on and check and see about that once I am done here. Unless someone says, go check Discord. I'm pretty bad with things like that. So, I'll go take a look. Would you be willing to hand me one of those cups over there?
Mm-hmm.
An odd cup.
Yeah, those are, I cleaned out the first aid kit.
Oh.
It was all full of medicine cups.
There were 2 cups.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
This print has a lot of, I guess I'll call it texture. It's hard to get an even line.
Alright. So, what I'm gonna tackle here is with the horse mostly dry. I think I'm going to carefully start putting in umber wash along the leather and the fur. Actually, with the leather, I'm probably going to do a black wash. It'll stand out a little better. But for the fur, part of it is this needs to be stirred a little. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at my calendar. Tuesday today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that sounds quite fun. Let's see. Just gonna get some definition in on this horse here. Using this umber wash. I'm knocking things over. Today has been a very... Oh, that's really cool. Volunteering is always really nice, too. Just starting to work some definition in on this horse. I'm dropping it. It's been one of those days.
And there's been a dropping day.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know.
So this bit right across the top here, should I paint that the lighter color too, or dark? So that's just like a veneer on the front.
Why don't you do dark brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. Like a cake delivery or something. Or just digital cake somehow. Since I have this horse on its side, I'm gonna do a little more black wash for. That would get very expensive.
Which two should be turquoise and which two purple?
Well, if you're alternating, it shouldn't matter too much.
Mm.
Just very slowly and carefully building up the various colors here with the wash. Getting everything. I think the stirrup would probably be extra dirty. I'm gonna give that horse a second and change the prints quick. Hi, Mr. Wacky Stuff. Does this horse have a name? We don't actually have a horse in game right now. We've had horses. What was the name of our one horse that we had?
It was Winnie, wasn't it?
Winnie? Yeah, we had Winnie the horse that we stole from some bandit.
Well, it wasn't really theirs.
But ultimately it was ours.
Yeah.
Waffle was a good name for a horse too. Yeah, I think Nine's named it Winnie or Winifred.
I think it was Winifred. Yeah.
Winifred. Winnie for short.
Yeah. We must have left it behind.
Yeah, we left it in Nordfeld.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is Winifred. Who's gonna come back with a vengeance.
Well, it certainly managed to go upscale.
Oh, with the armor?
Mm-hmm. So when we had Winifred, I don't even know if it had a saddle.
Just getting some more prints up and running.
Yeah, it sounds ominous, doesn't it? Mm-hmm.
Every weekend for 6 years you've DM'd. That's quite a lot.
Wow.
Although Lexi DMs every week as well, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure if for 6 years though.
No, I did DM a game for 4 years, one single campaign.
So is it with the same group all the time?
Just checking on how my horse is drying here. Still pretty wet, so I don't want to handle it too much. But the umber is settling in pretty nice, and other than pulling out a spot or two with my brush here, I think it's going pretty well. Just give that a second. Wow. So, it's still pretty wet, and I don't want to move it around too much, but let's see if I can get the camera to focus here. There it is. Yeah, it's still shiny from being wet, but the horse is coming along. So, since the horse is wet, I'll just keep filling in colors on this shelf. This isn't super exciting work, but it's something to do while paint dries. And it's pretty easy. Alright. Oh, I bet. Yes. Silicone molds and things like that are something I've always wanted to have. I always like the idea of making dice as well. Most of our work, I've been doing some monsters and things like the horse lately, but a lot of our work has been dungeon tiles, things like that lately.
Yeah.
Houses.
Yeah, set pieces for sets.
How much paint have I spilled today? Only... I haven't spilled any paint. I've come very close, because the gravity has been an issue today. I've definitely made a bit of a mess on my fingers. But technically spilled, I think I'm good. I'll go with a technicality. I haven't spilled any water. I did almost drop my drink though, so that would have been pretty bad. Yeah, to me it doesn't thin super well with water. I like it for terrain especially, because it has all those sort of military colors. So it's not bad for terrain and it goes on pretty smooth.
You know, you can thin it with
For
denatured alcohol. You have to be really careful.
very small amount, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then it'll dry more quickly.
Yeah, but we also use Vallejo. If you count parts as miniatures, I think I've dropped 3 or 4 today. Just because I've been a little off today.
You have been dropping things, yeah.
Yeah. But nothing bad so far. Yeah. And we don't really use the gloss Tamiya that much. We like to stick with the flats because they're a little easier to work with.
I think we've got
2 gloss.
2 gloss. We have
red and a green.
Red and green, so we can make glossy Christmas.
But, you know, alternating between Vallejo and... Yeah. Yeah, so we intermix Tamiya and Vallejo a fair amount. I think this horse is like 50-50. But especially when we're doing like our dungeon tiles, you know, it's not a ton of variation in between them.
Yeah, like the gloss level will probably vary more from one color to the next within a brand than...
Yeah.
How could I miss? I don't understand. Over this 4 times.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, we don't do too many sets that aren't washed down in some way, toned in some way or another, so...
Yeah, I think the only piece I've done that hasn't been washed is the Wizard bedroll.
Yeah. But... like, I think... The only on this scorpion I did, the only Tamias I used were the black. Everything else was Vallejo. But you know, on some of them, like the river tiles, the blue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the scorpion was hiding under the camera. The river part of this was done in Tamiya, and the sides were done in Vallejo. And then, but this is getting a gloss cover later on. So, I don't know. I think they're. It's sort of what I'm used to working in, so I'm kind of good with it. But how is my horse coming along? Kind of mostly dry, so I've been shading one side of it. Let's see. Not fully shaded yet, but coming along. And this side hasn't really been hit much yet. So, sort of a comparison. I'll put photos up on Instagram later. Oils. I haven't used oils in quite a while. Mostly because of them. They're a little messier when I use them. But for toning metals, I'll have to try that maybe. Do you have any brands you recommend? Cheap. That's always a good brand.
I don't know. I find it hard to understand how.
Trying to get a little wear into the saddle here. Because that will be where the butt has been.
I think that's about as done as this is going to be for the moment. I'm going to pull out the purple. This is going to be the finishing thing. This bed will have a purple sheet. So I'm going to carefully paint little indents on this that are now gray instead of turquoise. Make those purple, and then the bed sheet's purple. So I get to do a tiny little brushwork and then slobber it everywhere.
I'm sorry, I missed your fiance. I hope you get to see them soon. Oh, they're just getting ice cream. Okay, so they're not too far away. That's good. I see how it is.
This ice cream genie wasn't at the farmer's market today.
Well, yeah, we'll get ice cream from the farmer's market in the area, but apparently they weren't there today.
No, hardly anyone was.
It is getting pretty late in the year, though, for a farmer's market.
Yeah, they're gonna go. They go here until the second week of October. Other than people selling cheese and chrysanthemums, there's not too much out there. The veggies looked a little beat up today, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna do the line here.
I am building up my some dark shading on the metal here right now. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna give that a second to sit and dry.
Okay, now I get to use a big brush and paint purple.
Oh, you did the edging.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not good.
I'm just checking out the horse, seeing what areas need more work and what areas I'm okay with. Probably after I get some of the wash in, do some detail work in black as well, just to get some of the creases shaded in very, very gently.
It's really looking good. I like the way you imagine how the object is used, or in this case, like the saddle and things, so that you can show realistic wear.
Oh, that's purple.
Mm-hmm. It is purple.
Got a base coat in though. Well, I'm not sure the horse will be finished fully today, but it is a step closer to being finished, as it still dries here, but
But
oh yeah, purple sheet.
mm-hmm. Purple blanket. Purple. Very purple.
Whoops. There. I dropped a model.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very, very off today. It looks fine though.
Okay, well, I'm going to go clean up these cups and brush. We'll be back in a little bit.
Do you mind cleaning a couple of these cups as well?
If I can carry them. Yep.
I don't think I'll need these colors.
Done with these?
Yeah. You got them? You got those three?
Yeah. Put them between these two fingers right there. There.
Alright, so I'm just gonna put in a little more umber wash and get this side a little toned in. At least to get things started. Just starting to tone down some of the fur here. Alright. So, I think for now, I'm going to leave this as is. I have some drying to do. And, you have a little toy fight going on. Thanks for coming, Mr. Wacky Stuff. Thanks for coming, Char. And yeah, you can't beat a foam sword. Thanks, Esty, and everyone else who came. Kai Hikari Kas, thank you. And we will be back on Friday, but Thursday we're gonna have the thanks UL.
Saying goodbye.
Yeah, we're saying goodbye.
Bye. Thanks for joining.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.